Project Maverick are using a substitute, I believe, so not allowed to have those first 2 bans here.
Substitute, remember, it was because 2 of the players didn't meet the 10-game rate requirement.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Then when you are losing 2 of the first 6 bans, even, you can leave up a lot of those overpowered picks in the meta. So you still have Zinzao open, you still have a lot of these other champions. I was gonna say Aurelia, but then I saw Aurelia was actually banned. Viego is also banned away here. But again, just a lot of those other powered picks like Jarvan, I forgot about him. He's a very strong V1 right now.
Yeah, he's a very good strong V1, right? I mean, that's Jarvan is just one of those ones that, especially with it in the team aspect, I feel like he's better in like a pre-made 5 compared to a solo, because you can still gank mid or the other lanes in a solo queue game, but it just doesn't feel as great because you're not communicating as well. I feel like at the same time, because it's solo queue. Anything can happen. So, we do have a Camille.
Yeah, Project Maverick only getting 1 ban means that probably all of the comfort picks are left up for mid potatoes. That leaves Camille, that leaves Mumu, that leaves all these other comfort picks that you don't typically get to see, and especially in these kinds of tournaments, right? Comfort, I would say Comfort is always picked ahead of meta, so maybe Camille isn't the most meta champion ever to be R1, but if you're able to play a main Camille, then you can definitely pick her that early. And then a Mumu somehow getting back into the meta. I can't even call him an off-meta champion anymore because of his pretty massive Q buff, but still, Amumu being picked very early does leave room for him to be counterpicked by champions that are very strong, like Morgana and Mordekaiser.
Yes, Morgana is just so annoying. You just black shield someone, it's just like, oh, well, I mean, I still go, but I don't stun them. And then now I have to try to burst through the shield to be like, okay, now I can finally root you and then stun you again. It's a move. So it gets really annoying that it's just like, okay, now I'm losing upfront damage that I need, or just the Master Yi.
Okay, if
the
that
is okay.
I was gonna say, if that was actually a Master Yi lock-in, I would have been very excited, because that would mean that it is an Amumu support, and I haven't gotten to personally see an Amumu support yet. I've seen it on like streams and YouTube VODs and stuff, but not personally. So I'm still very excited to get to see if it is picked here.
It'll be interesting to see. I've played it and it's fun. I'll say that. Probably very annoying for the other team, especially if the person knows how to land their advantages, but it is what it is. So we have Diana and Jin. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of AD carries are still left up. Ashe, Jhin is going to be banned away. Ezreal is another popular pick, and then Draven has been starting to make a little bit more meta in recency, as well as Lucian. Again, losing those first 2 bans does leave a lot of these AD carries open. Also, Thresh and Leona have made it very far into this draft. I swear, Thresh and Leona are like pick or ban in every tournament I've seen.
Yeah, it's always pick or ban, because you have to look at like when they perform so well, and especially if it's like a very good player on it too. That's the more, I think, annoying factor. Whereas like, okay, if it's just like, okay, it's just a good champ, but you don't know how to play it, then you can kind of like exploit it more, I guess. Unless it's just a balanced champion like Viego, I guess.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure on this interaction, but a Mumu Q onto Black Shield, right? I know that he's gonna pull himself in with the Q onto Morgana, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to CC her. So he's gonna be pulled in,
right,
but leaving Morgana un-CC'd when you're going in, or I mean anyone else that has Black Shield on them obviously, I think that just kills the Mumu instantly.
See, here's the weird thing. You would think it would, but think of it this way. Say Morgana puts it like on either herself or Mordekaiser, because say Mordekaiser's not in the Cataclysm with Jarvan for some reason. Then now he's basically on top of at least 1 to 2 people possibly. So depending on who it is, yes, he may not be able to CC Mordekaiser or Sivir or Morgana in that case. But that's where, yes, it's going to be very annoying in that aspect. But now you also just throw Ornn in the mix where it's like, okay, hey, you can't get me anyways, my W. And then it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to put you in Channel Realm. Or, hey, Sivir also has her own shield too. So it's going to be a very annoying lane to gank for bot lane.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. I mean, like I said, it does travel. So it's not like it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing if your team can't back you up. That's the only way it's going to be bad.
Yeah, but you can definitely say that the same for Jarvan, right? Where Jarvan, you usually pick him in wombo combo team comps. And for the side of PM right here, I don't really see a wombo combo that he can go off of. Like, he can go off of a Morgana bind, right? Or maybe an Ornn ult if he gets like 2 or 3 knocked up. But that's not really a wombo combo. Something like a Diana or a Yasuo or a Malphite or any of these other like really classic wombo combos are usually something that are commonly picked with the J4. So if he goes in all on his own, he's not gonna have like that super easy follow-up that you do usually like to pick J4 with. And then for the rest of PM, I mean, they have very good split damage, right? It's not just one all AP or one all AD, but I'm still worried about their lack of damage. They have 3 tanks, a Sivir, and a Morgana. Morgana's gonna be forced to build, I would say, AP damage. She can't really go full utility on this team comp, but with that, if she is able to do a lot of AP, only her and Mordekaiser are doing it, and Mordekaiser probably going to be much more of a tank than she will.
I feel like you're not giving the mage assassin tank more respect for Ornn there, but you know,
I mean,
I
don't
come
like
on, he does a lot of damage.
To talk about Ornn damage, I hate that champ. He does more damage than he ever should. Like, I pick Ornn to be a tank, and then he 1v5s in a team fight, and I'm like, I just don't want to think about that, man.
Well, and that's the thing too, like you talked about, like so, like the Cataclysm. What's gonna be perfect is like Ornn just has to get himself in for Jarvan, because if Jarvan Cataclysms, it's still terrain. So when he crashes into it, it's still gonna knock up, and then you can do the brittle again. Then you can do your slow, because by then Cataclysm should be getting out. You can throw your ult, so then now you're brittling again, and then throw it again for knock up, and then you have Jarvan knock up. So it's still wombo. But it's reliant more on also Ornn being there, I think, is part of the problem. So
yeah,
which Ornn's going to be, well, I guess it's not a problem, because I guess Ornn's mid, because we have Mordekaiser top, so this will be interesting.
That's not something that we talked about, is a Mordekaiser Ornn flex pick, because that's not something I've ever had to talk about before, actually, is I guess Mordekaiser can flex mid, so can Ornn. It's just kind of more of who is going to have the better roam potential, and Ornn definitely does have it over Mordekaiser because his ult is just, I mean, it's just a bigger ultimate, right? Like Mordekaiser, it's one person. Ornn, you can hit the whole map with it if you really wanted to aim it that way.
We okay. Am I getting debated here? I feel like I'm getting debated here. I'm getting debated. All right, I'm getting debated. I saw the hover Morgana. I'm like, are we really doing an Ornn support?
Yo.
I was gonna be like, that's gonna be interesting, but no, I got debated.
I mean, Ornn support, that falls under the same realm of why does Ornn do damage in the first place? I just, why, man? Like, that Ornn is one of those champions, like Bard is also one of these, where you close your eyes, you pick an item from the shop, and you can make it work on the champ. Like, that's the essence of these champions, where it doesn't matter what you do, you're always going to be tanky, you're always going to do damage. So Bard and Malphite are the other 2 champions that I can think of off the top of my head that are like that.
Yeah, it would be Bard, and yeah, I would agree with that. Because Bard's just so annoying. I mean, with his scaling and just the meeps and everything, I don't know. I think I definitely agree with the Bard. But, what was I gonna say? So we didn't talk about bot lane, really, other than just Morgana and Sivir. So we have a Caitlyn Seraphine.
I do.
how do we feel about this in the Morgana though with Sivir?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Caitlyn, Seraphine. Now, if you wanted ranged champions in a bot lane, those are the champions I would pick. I don't think you could ever touch them, ever, in a million years. They're going to be autoing you from their base. I don't think you can look at them right, and they won't auto you like 3 times before you stop looking at them. It's a poke comp, right? But there is just no kill threat between them unless you land a really good like Seraphine ult into trap, into headshot, into just like if they combo their abilities perfectly right, then they can look for a kill, but it's gonna have to be post 6. Pre-6, it's just a really annoying poke lane.
Yeah, it's a really annoying poke lane. But then it's like so you could keep them afar with Caitlyn and Seraphine, but it's also the fact of like, okay, you try to go in and then Morgana just shields someone, whether it's herself or Sivir, and you have double spell shield. So it's kind of like, you know, built over gets missed. You know, any ability is gonna get missed. Kind of essentially at that point if they can time it right. So that's the trade off with that. I feel like so. It's like, okay, you just took your safest pick, essentially, to go into the biggest right trick.
It's like both of these bot lanes I would say are pretty up there on the Ezreal Yumi level, right? Where you play to just play from mid to late game. Neither of these bot lanes are playing for early game or really any ganks whatsoever. I don't think either of these bot lanes can die in a 2v2 or a gank. And I'm gonna clip saying that, and one of them is gonna be 05 in 10 minutes, and I'm gonna be very sad. But in theory, both of these bot lanes, very safe. You got a double spell shield. You got like 2 of the highest range champs in the game. How are you ever gonna die?
Right. I mean, you shouldn't, but we'll definitely have this. We'll definitely have to see how it gets played out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it could be you get the 4-man gank of Ryze and Moo Moo come down or Camille TP's down, you know, kind of a thing. You'll have to see what happens because that's probably the only way they're gonna get them that early, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 5v5 bot lane in 5 minutes, or at 5 minutes. That's always our favorite thing, but we are gonna have to wait for just a few more minutes. You're going to a short break now for Spectatorly. We will be back very shortly with your game 1 tonight, Project Maverick versus Mint Potatoes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Week 3 of Runeterra Academy's Sophomore League. Once again, I am Camcom, joined by Gigatron on the desk tonight. Project Maverick taking blue side, Mint Potatoes taking red side. Division 2, both teams currently sitting undefeated, fighting for that first seed slot.
30 seconds until
Look at that BM from Piclay there. Just going into that Rune Prisonano.
Yeah, I mean, he's going for those tier stacks, man. He's getting those tier stacks, so it's definitely...
No, she's here. We just went quiet. Yeah, I was expecting Meow to like try to do something, but you also Be Happy and Koro or Coco real close there.
Wait, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I hear you now. If you said
Okay.
something, I didn't hear you.
No, I was just making sure, yeah.
All right, so we got standard starts. It looks like. Oh, actually, no, we don't. We have Moo going to race right now. Actually, toucans. Whatever. I'm old. Play the game a little too long.
They're chickens. They're not.
They're toucans. The toucans.
Man, they're chickens. They haven't been raised since like what, season 7, season 6? I don't even know. But we're in season 11 now. I officially call them chickens.
Oh my god.
Oh, bot lane. Oh no, gank coming in level 2 from Mr. Buffalo. Flash coming out from Bongo Tap as well. Heal, not gonna be enough. There is gonna be a kill turn back. Top lane though, Juggernaut versus Unaware. Very close. No summoners burned up there though.
No, not needed yet, but you have to look at, though, Unaware is going to be ahead because of the fact that you have a Corrupting Pot. So you can get some extra damage out, you'll be able to sustain, you have Grasp. You do a lot more compared to Juggernaut, which Juggernaut can still do well with the Conqueror stacks. You just have to proc them enough in order to stay alive, but probably will not be the case as he has to back here. Yeah,
neither top laner taking neither top laner taking Ignite. Instead, they are taking TP. The confusing summoner spells, of course, but mid lane here, meanwhile, Flash coming out, but not enough damage there quite yet. So just Flash for Flash traded. I would definitely say Flash is more valuable on the rise for Piclay over there on red side, just because you're a very immobile early game mage or late game mage, and you're currently in the early game, and you're currently about to be ganked by Mr. Buffalo.
Yeah, that's kind of the more annoying thing. It's like, okay, yeah, you burned it because you think you can get the kill, and then the minion comes in and blocks it, and you're just like, all right, you know, you're being aggressive, which is great, which is what you want, because then now they burn their flash too in the process, and also burn a TP early. I don't know why, when he could have just ran back, I guess, but I guess he didn't want to miss a wave or two at that point. Oh, meow. Very close with that binding, but no cigar.
Yes, it's a very close binding, but even if Meow did land that binding right there, there couldn't have been any follow-up from Bongo Tap. He's sitting back there, he's farming very peacefully on Sivir, looking to land a few nice E's to get some mana back in the pockets as well. Meanwhile, of course, spot lane from Mint Potatoes, they just kind of got to sit there, but they're very good at doing that because of how long range they are. Like, you have Spell Thief, right? All you got to do is hit a Q, and then all of a sudden, you got like 100 gold in your pocket. It's a very nice item to have, especially on Seraphine.
Oh yeah, get all the extra gold whenever possible. Oh, what was that gonna get?
Okay. All right, he's good. He's good.
Oh, they better get out of there.
Yeah, if he does land a Q onto I'd Be Happy or even Cook, I don't even say that. I'm just gonna call him Seraphine. He does land the Q coming in up on the backside there from Mr. Buffalo, not allowed to move whatsoever. Bongo Tap picking up his second kill of the game down the bot lane.
Yeah, he's just doing really well. I mean, it helps with the 2 Jarvan ganks, I ain't gonna lie. Jarvan is just so good early. It's obviously like Zen, you know, you could definitely be overpowering, but I feel like a Zen can do more in some aspects that, say, Jarvan can't. Like, if Jarvan misses his flag drag, like, he's very much done at that point. Where at least in this case, everything was executed properly and you had no issues. So they're still able to secure a kill, which is a little unfortunate for mid's bot side right now.
Yeah, it's kind of the difference of Xin Zhao only has to use one ability for his dash in, while Jarvan has to use two. So that's two abilities that are on cooldown. And if you miss them, there goes half your kit. And if you're pre-6, there goes 3/4 or 2/3 of your kit. Math is hard. As Turnip's picking up his first gank here in the top lane. Juggernaut does not have that flash available. Unaware gonna have his first kill, very nicely donated by Turnips.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we can talk about, at least with this. I mean, we're going to see, obviously, Dragon should go to them. I doubt that it's going to get stolen here. But for Juggernaut, the problem he's going to have to deal with is anytime Turnips comes, you have very much lockdown CC that you need minions or a flash to get away from, because you have Turnip who can bandage to you, then you have Unaware who can do the hook shot now into you. That gives you another stun. You got another bandage that comes up in that time frame on top of, heaven forbid, he has his ultimate, coming from the curse of the sad mummy. Yeah, or even not even sad mummy that you need, the Hextech ultimatum. Like you just don't leave. So
yeah, you just
like right there,
as they're gonna have a 1v1 in the mid lane as you're talking about their ultimates. Aftershock not able to keep King Rhino alive. Speakley just walks down and sees his laner dead.
Peak Lays is probably like, hey, you know what? Thank you for killing my laner, but I wanted to assist.
He's trying to get the tier stacks, man.
Yeah, he needs those tier stacks. I mean, he's at 183 right now. He's getting there, more than halfway right now at this point. So hopefully soon he'll get there. It's just, of course, the always annoying thing when you play Rise is it takes a little bit longer to get online than I feel like it should take, kind of a thing, just because, like, between a lot of his kit right now, like, some of it's good and just some of it's just terribly not used or just bad. I feel like they just need to buff something. But that's why we're going to get a rework for him soon.
You know what makes me so sad is that there is a champion entirely built around the mechanic of his crying doing damage, and he can't build an item called tier. Why can't Amumu build tier? Why does this item have to only be for laners? I mean, right now Amumu is starting to make a comeback into support, but still support's not really going to be building tier off that often. It's just like, you build an item that is for crying, and the one crying champ can't build the item.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, okay, so you'd think it would work perfectly because he is someone that goes through mana constantly, kind of thing. And he could stack it up pretty easily. Or I should say not easily, but definitely at an average rate, kind of a thing. The problem is you're just not going to get enough out of it. Oh, good trading here between the two, but Juggernaut's taking way too much damage due to this grasp and the double hit coming out from Unaware.
Yeah, Unaware, he has a lot more healing than Juggernaut right now in this early game. I mean, once both of them do start building anti-heal, really even just for the vacuum matchup up top, right? But still, both teams do have a lot of healing, definitely more than enough healing for a lot of these champions to build early grievous wounds, right? So, especially against a Camille, it's like, man, I just gotta cut down that healing and maybe I could kill her. Yes, you are a Mordekaiser. Yes, you're not gonna be doing that much damage, but if you are able to cut that healing down, maybe the rest of your team could do a little bit more damage to help you out.
Right. I mean, that's the hope. You'd think that maybe something could happen, but it's kind of just have to see how things play out. But oh no, Juggernauts.
Mr. Buffalo wants to come up here, uses the Cataclysm very nicely. Unaware, taking down real low. Mr. Buffalo, he wanted to donate it over, but unfortunately was forced to flash and take the kill for himself. 150 shot down going in his pocket there very nicely.
Yeah, it's still good because you're still getting shut down to someone. It's going to Jarvan, which, I mean, it's kind of okay because of the fact that he is being everywhere at this point, since he has been bot lane, he has been mid, he has been top. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's so sad. Bongo top. He went for a ward, but it was such a good Q landed, man. If that had any follow-up, could have been another very nice kill for Bongo Tap. He is in 2-0, by the way, on the Sivir.
Since he is 2-0, there is that bounty gold as well too. He does have a good amount of lead right now. It's a 15 CS lead, so that's really good. I mean, especially when we actually don't see the skin a lot either, because it's only attainable through a bundle. I believe still. I don't think they put it back into Hex Deck. I think they took it out. But yeah, it's really cool to see that skin still too.
Which skin is it?
It's the Huntress skin, which is only. It was originally only in one of the bundles, like for the champions, like that you have to buy. It was the only way you could get it. But I don't know if they re-added it back to the Hex Deck crafting or if they took it back out again. Because they added it at like one point and then like they messed with Hex Deck crafting for certain things. And we're like, oh, well, this is a legacy one that we don't want to give people. For whatever reason. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
again, probably because they wanted people to get bundles.
Let's just put this skin into a closet and pretend we never made it. It's okay. We get it totally, right? It makes sense. But yes, you did see a Rift Herald there dropped in the mid lane by Mid Potatoes, getting a little bit more gold onto both P-Clay and Turnips. Those are probably the two members that you want this early game gold on, because once you do hit that mid game, they're gonna be the ones that have the only wombo combo really to try and deal damage. You land in a Mumu Q, you land a Rise Stun, and whoever it is probably gonna be dead, especially with the assistance of Mumu passive.
Right, I would definitely agree with that because Mumu can just lock down other people. He can get the cry damage off. If you keep hitting him, Tantrum comes up faster, so it's definitely annoying. To answer Henry, yeah, he probably did, but the problem is you have to look at that. You still had Hextech Ultimatum on you. And when you're kind of wondering if it did or didn't come off in time, and to try to avoid.
Oh, the double knockup coming out from Juggernaut, flashes away from P-Clay, though he's not caught in the Cataclysm. Buffalo going to be going down first, but Chiba roaming up, but now finding himself in a 1v3 double kill coming out for the Seraphine. And now Meow, he wanted to walk up, he wanted to help the fight. Unfortunately, he could be falling for it as well. Just about able to walk it out, though.
Can we just talk about how effortless Be Happy just made that sidestep look to dodge that Q? I mean, that was just like mwah, beautiful right there. I loved it. And it's just one of those things too. Like, yeah, like Meow tried to help out, but the problem is you had, it's gonna be a 4v3 at that point. You also run into the issue of if you don't kill P-Clay early enough, this is what's gonna happen every single time, because if they stay lined up like that, okay, Juggernaut's just gonna lose half of his health right now in like one ability, which is the dumb thing that Camille does. Especially when Grass was already proc in the process too. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those things that going back to the mid fight, this is why Rise works kind of into their comp, because hey, he doesn't, whether he's in the middle of that Cataclysm or knockup or not, he's gonna do a lot of damage. Uh-oh.
Oh no, Juggernaut taken to a quarter of his HP in his own death round. Really wants to turn it back onto Unaware, but unfortunately Turnips waiting outside of it for him. He is forced to flash away. Unaware still has his flash available. Could look for a dive here on him as well.
Yeah, I think he also missed the bandage too. I know it was kind of weird to see with the Mordekaiser skin, but I'm pretty sure he did miss, which is why he also gets away too. So because of that, but hey, you know what? Mordekaiser lives another day.
Mordekaiser does live. He did have to use Flash, though. Not one of the most important flashes, because really, you only use it in team fights to like aggressively pick onto probably either P-Clay or Be Happy. Later on, you could use it on the Seraphine as well. She is currently the most fed member, but still, she is building, I believe, probably Moonstone could be Shirelia's with the Bandleglass Mirror. So she is definitely not going Leandra. He's definitely not going to be the main AP damage. Of course, that is P-Clay, and he's been doing it very well so far.
Yeah, P-Clay's definitely doing very well. Tier stacks are already done now, so you're good with that. He just needs to get his item for the Archangels so then he can carry everything over. But yeah, it looks like he is going to go at Leandri's, I think, in that case, right? Or is he going to go... I can't remember what they build. They build... Luditz?
Oh no.
I don't know.
Oh no,
Juggernaut.
He doesn't
Getting
know
bullied.
Turnips is there. Oh, A smite almost steals the kill for himself, but Unaware is able to pick it up. Peakley wants to run away with the Realm Whip, but not able to in time shut down Fallen to Mr. Buffalo.
Yeah, and there's that execution I was talking about. We're going to see first turret is going to go to Sivir here in this plot lane, but the execution of that wombo combo still is there. I know you're kind of thinking it wasn't, but like earlier on, but it definitely could work. It just has to be that they time it perfectly, because if Realm Warp went off there, he's out. If they didn't layer the CC properly, like if that Flag and Drag didn't hit, he was out, kind of a thing. So that's good in that case, because of the fact that now it shows, okay, hey, they're taking their patience. They're using the Cataclysm properly. They're trying to knock up. They're trying to do all these different things. So this way, when they do get a 3-man and are able to get Ornn in there as well, they're going to have a lot of damage coming out onto them. Or a lot of CC even, too.
Yeah, a lot of CC and hopefully a lot of damage follow-up. Afterwards, you do have one, if not probably your highest damage person on the set of Project Maverick, being the most fed, that being, of course, Bongo Tap on the Sivir. But now King Rhino could be picked off here right before the Dragon spawns. All 5 members, double Seraphino, landing onto the bot side members. Bongo Tap finding himself in the backside, but unfortunately does not have the damage quite yet. Mr. Buffalo finds himself all alone. Juggernaut does not even have his ultimate available to use as he uses it onto someone, but just, I don't even see who it is. I think he's just going to be dead before he even is able to come out clean. Ace coming out from Mid Potatoes, looking to take this dragon for themselves now. First dragon for Mid Potatoes as well.
Yeah, this is great by Mint here. Because of the fact that they grouped up faster, they were able to position better, they had some wards, they were able to see and get off that nice 2-man ult from Seraphine there. You're not going to steal it, but you're going to get some good damage out, but you're not going to be able to steal it, unfortunately. So that's where I look at, that was great fighting by them to capitalize. It was Unaware that was in the ult, which isn't really someone that you want, because of the fact that you know that she can sustain because of grass. She can keep up with you very well. She could do a lot of damage, and it's just, you know, I know it's like an escape, but it's not an escape. Oh my god, it's perfect.
Wow, be happy. That was the pixel perfect E right there to escape from the Cataclysm. Now trying to run away with the help of the W's. Unfortunately, still not going to be quite fast enough. Shutdown will fall to Mr. Buffalo. Meanwhile, Peakley, I think he's pretty good right there.
Yep, especially when the wave is pretty much almost gone there, so they can't stay up there anymore. Yes, they're good. Yeah, unfortunate for Be Happy. That was just great footwork there. You know, being able to time to get yourself out of the Cataclysm there very easily, but unfortunately, Flag and Drag does get up a little bit easier. So you gotta hope they you can shake and bake them out, but unfortunately, could not in that process.
Yeah, unfortunately, you cannot. I mean, that's the unfortunate reality of being an AD carry, right? Is as fed as you are, unless you are actually able to 2-shot, maybe 3-shot someone, especially like a Jarvan, where you don't even have any anti-heal for yourself yet, right? So you can play it as perfectly as possible. It's just unfortunately that is how AD carry works in the current metas. Once again, Juggernaut thinks he's in a 1v1. Turns out it is never actually a 1v1. Turnips does miss that first Q, but Juggernaut does not have that ultimate available. He is just going to be trapped in the Hextech ultimate. Unaware picking up his 4th kill of the game.
See, this is where, again, Camille doesn't have to be necessarily meta. Camille is just a very good counter to a lot of champions in top lane. So that's why, like, for example, here, Juggernaut always is going to have a rough time in general, just because of the fact that once she hits her power spike, is just able to kind of take over the game. It's kind of like Set. Like, once you hit 9, you're just in that nice, very comfortable position that you can just pretty much do a lot of damage, survive, be in team fights, and be able to do pretty much be an overpowering presence. That's kind of what she's being right now, but it's more focused just on, obviously, Juggernaut for the most part right now.
Oh no, Peakley, he thought it was a 1v1, but Bongo Tab walked down just in time to save Meow. But Peakley, nice flash to dodge out the Q. Unfortunately, just in a 1v2, not quite enough damage for himself yet.
Yeah, he's not quite there. If he had the Archangels, maybe kind of a thing. But even then, I would say that's still a stretch, because of the fact that you're still going to have some of the damage get mitigated from Meow from the Black Shield. You still have a another shield coming up from Sever that will block at least another ability coming in. So if it blocks the Flux, then no extra damage is going to be done to her. You know, you can't root her. You know, it's just going to be a slow then at that point for Rune Prison. So definitely not a fight you want to do a 2v1. But again, he didn't know. So not much you can do about that one. I see him push this bot lane pretty far here.
Yeah, it could have almost been an overstay from the bot side there of PM, right? But luckily, Mint Potatoes, they didn't go for it. They weren't entirely sure where the rest of Project Maverick was, right? So if they did, it would have been very terrifying. They are just about even in gold, right? But you can't really tell that from inside the game. It feels very one-sided when in reality, either team is like pretty even right now. It's only one dragon up in favor of Project Maverick. Mint Potatoes, they are up in kills, but just not really up in gold quite yet. You see a lot of bounties that could definitely turn the tides here for Project Maverick.
Yeah, there's definitely things that could turn the tide for them. Like if you get these bounties off, you could just get more turrets and everything coming to you. I think here's the other big thing too that I just noticed was we have a Kraken Slayer on Sivir when we normally would see like maybe like Dustblade in that case. So I think that's a little interesting because the only tank you really, I guess you kind of have to shred through unaware a little bit, but the only tank you really have to worry about is turnips. Personally.
Yeah, but Turnips, he's a pretty big tank right now. I think probably Bongo Tap built it because he's thinking, I gotta be doing the majority of the damage. Yes, Dustblade can be helpful, but it's a little bit more on the utility side. Of course, it is still a very high damage item, right? But Kraken Slayer does do a little bit more. I'm still not saying it's probably like the 100% correct item here. I wouldn't know what to build, but I don't think Kraken Slayer is the worst item ever to build, as the dragons are now even for Project Maverick and Mint Potatoes here. 2 clouds versus a mountain and an ocean.
And 2 clouds. I mean, and here's the other good thing too. This helps for so many of them on Mint's side because of the fact that anytime they use an ult now, it's reduced to another 10% each time with that. You also have to look at once they get a soul with this too, they'll be able to move that a little bit quicker. So like Amumu could get better positioning, Camille could get better positioning, Rise could get better positioning to see if he could get his combo off in that process. Be Happy can even show more footwork essentially with that too if she uses on the hunt at all for any reason. But yeah, I like it that they're getting those compared to the first 2 starters for the Dragons. I think they're still good, but it's just I think this is more beneficial to them, I think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Cloud Dragons, if those were the first 2 dragons that you got, like if those were the first 2 dragons that Project Maverick got, they're a lot less useful pre-20 minutes because especially once you hit level 11, it scales off of percent CDR, not just flat CDR. So once these CDRs are starting to get a little lower or higher, depending on which way it's scaling, right, then it does give you a little bit more in terms of just how much the dragon is actually giving you. So once they do start stacking them up a little bit later, like you were saying, right, then it actually does give more than you might have originally bargained for.
Exactly. When you bargain a little bit more than you need to, I mean, you know, you better hope it's Dormammu that you're working with, because if you Dormammu, you're gonna be like, it's gonna get got right now. It looks like so.
Peakley, yeah, Juggernaut. He thought it was a 1v1. This time it was a 2v1 in his own favor. However, you see on the other side of the map, Mint Potatoes, they see 2 members on the bot side. They immediately start up the Baron, but now they're trying to turn it onto Meow, left all alone on this Morgana. Is going to be able to flash over that wall, and Turnip's not going to land that Q. It is a completely blind Q, of course, but it is a nice Baron come off, find a flash, not quite a kill, and you did lose a kill on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, so it's the thing I think you have to look at it as a win. Oh,
Seraphine is going to land onto 2 members. Unfortunately, not enough damage follow-up as Juggernaut falls unaware back in. Just, again, no damage quite yet for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not quite enough damage. But the problem too, I think you have to look at is like this is still a win. I feel like for Project Maverick because of the fact that you got to kill bot, you still peeled him off the dragon, you had to burn a flash, but now they couldn't do anything, so they didn't do didn't do the Baron anymore. So it's like perfect in that aspect, because essentially you're still getting gold. You take away any aspect of them trying to empower themselves, and you get the fight to live on another day. Like it's a little unfortunate because I feel like Picle, he might get ganked again. Oh no, I see the
man.
Morgana. I see that Morgana going up.
Yeah, you see also that the rest
Oh,
of
he's getting
Picle's
wise.
team, the rest of Picle's team is also not on the top side of the map. They're completely split-sided. Juggernaut on the bot side, rest of his team up top, and Picle up top, rest of his team on the bottom side. Now King Rhino realizes this, goes in for a 1v1, realizes it's not a 1v1 as TP is coming on in, but the rest of Project Maverick are here. Picle forced to flash away, immediately going back into the Cataclysm. Unfortunately, you can't use Stopwatch and Rise at the same time anymore. He's gonna be going down to Bongo Tap now, unaware. Let's all alone be happy. And Chiva rolling up here. Now it's a 3v4 turnips. Wants to go in on the backside, but flash from King Rhino stops the Q from landing onto his backside. Member Turnips still lands an excellent ultimate though. Going in onto the back, still really wants to find CC. Already used that ultimate, now finds himself a double kill. Bongo Tap still kiting back, still has a big bounty on his head, and he wants to try and keep it, but healing so much, not quite enough. Mr. Buffalo able to walk away, the only member left other than Juggernaut, who's still on the bottom. Oh! Never mind. Seraphine gonna be falling as well. Lots of shutdowns picked up by both teams in that 5v5. Or 4v5 even.
It's 4v5 because Juggernaut was still in the bot lane here trying to push and is now going to take this inhibitor turret here. Well, I guess not because he's peeling off because he knows that Picle is up. But yeah, just a chaotic fight up there in the top lane. That it was just it was so good to watch because you're just like, oh, I think we're done. No, we're not. We're going back. No, okay, I think we're done. No, we're not. We're done. Okay, nope. Charmer's gonna come and take that sweet last kill, and then we're like, okay. Now I play Ring Around Rosie again for a little bit. But looks like this third Drake will most likely go to Project Maverick here. We do have Picle and Be Happy around, but I don't know if they'll be able to secure it from them. Oh.
If they did want to go in for a fight there, they definitely could have, as a lot of these ultimates, you just had a fight, right? So a lot of the ultimates are still were down before. Of course, you do have 2 Cloud Dragons that helps them come up a little bit faster, as they would have been up if they wanted to fight after the dragon was already gone. But still, you just lost a fight in the top set. If you go for 2 losing fights in a row, that could spell the end for Mint Potatoes here. So it is nice to see that they aren't completely playing team deathmatch.
Right. It's nice that we're not seeing like ARAM in just one lane. We're not seeing super like team deathmatch kind of a thing because this is gonna be different. This could have been like 30 kills on each side at this point, which I'm glad we're not having that right now. But we do see that they're kind of shifting towards mid, maybe going towards that Baron here in this case, just because they're able to secure and push out these lanes that a little bit more. They do have Picle bot, which is fine. He's got TP, which Juggernaut can match, and King Rhino can also match just in case if he's not in that lane since he is up there at top.
Juggernaut looking for a 1v1 once again onto Picle. This might actually be the first real 1v1 that Juggernaut finds himself in the entire game. Flash coming out, Juggernaut finally finding himself the first kill of the game. Meanwhile, Mr. Buffalo flashing in on the bot side members immediately. Seraphine ulted though, but it's just no damage. Turnip finds himself in a 1v4. TP coming in for Project Maverick as well. There's no follow-up. Juggernaut finding himself 2 quick kills in a row. Unaware, though, he's gonna be walking in as well. You got 5 members of Project Maverick walking around this map. You cannot go face checking them, and now they can go look at the Spirit.
Here's the other problem, though, is like you have 2 people really weak here that Unaware could just take out. Like Unaware could just take out Juggernaut, and Juggernaut can not really say much about it. Or even Buffalo. Buffalo was like half health most of that time frame before he smited. So Yeah, I mean, I know they really couldn't do much even if they tried, but still, it would have been interesting to see if they went for a play like that.
Yeah, it does it can come down to a smite steal, right? Whether it is going to be on a potential cloud soul for Project Maverick spawning here in just a couple minutes, or it could come down to one of those barons. You do have that dragon again spawning in 2 minutes. Soul for Project Maverick, soul point for Mint Potatoes could make that final dragon almost determine the game. Of course, it is soul. It's not like an infernal soul where it really can determine a game, but cloud soul, once you do get to that elder after the cloud soul, which is probably much more important than the actual soul itself, that's when the smites really do make a huge impact on the game. As several coming out, but there's no one really around. Might have spoken too soon though, unaware. He is around. He's going to be forced to flash out of the Cataclysm and have a very late recall if Project Maverick want to push mid.
Yeah, I mean, this is the weird thing that could happen because you have Camille here on a flank. They could actually work perfectly because they know where Meow is, and they could easily just blow her up if they just go for it. But I don't think they're going to in this case. It's really hard when you have two frontliners like Rhino and Juggernaut right now, where like, what are you gonna do? You can't really get through them. Oh no, he gets rooted into that lasagnas.
Oh no, P-Clay, you can go into lasagnas for a little bit, going to have to flash away as well. Juggernaut taking out Relo immediately, shut down huge Serafino onto the backline, trying to turn around for Project Maverick. They do a lot of damage. You don't realize how much damage they do until they are in your team, but still, there's only one member left. It is only King Rhino. You do not have any more Baron remaining. Double kill coming out for Be Happy. Now it looks like Mint Potatoes are in the lead.
Yeah, Mint Potatoes just being able to ace here too, especially when Project Maverick had Baron too. I mean, it's of like, again, they took Baron, they were able to do some stuff with it, but then it's like, okay, now they took a fight that just didn't go in their favor, unfortunately. And that was kind of the thing that I was saying was like, okay, hey, if you have Camille on flank, Camille can set up and help out with different things. You can lock down and avoid some of the CC there, which they did. You know, it's able to turn into their favor that a little bit more. If that CC hit Peakley there, then you don't have as much burst coming out from them, and it's kind of like, whose fight is this going to go to now at that point? So, but we're going to see that the third Drake is going to. Well, this is actually going to be Mint's third Drake now, so we're going to fight for a soul here at the end.
Fight for a soul, man. That is just how a game like this has to end. You got 5v5s in the top lane before Dragon is even up. You got 5v5s in the bottom lane. I mean, what else is a game like this kind of come down to other than a soul? And if it doesn't come down to a soul, it's going to come down to an elder afterwards, which I mean, the power that these junglers are going to have, luckily, it doesn't matter what level they are anymore. They're both going to have 900 smite no matter what happens, right? But still, it just all comes down to what could potentially just be a 50-50 smite on this game one.
It could be a 50-50. I mean, again, I think it just happens to just be, what's the situation? Like, do we have both junglers up? Do we not? Do we have, all five up? Is now all five of them up, kind of a thing. We'll just have to see when we get to that point. But we're going to see there are going to be wards being cleared out from Mint right now for the most part. But other than that, looks like they are going to try and clear out more of the spot side for Maverick right now. I don't know why. Uh-oh.
Oh, we have another 1v1 Juggernaut once again. He thinks he's in a 1v1, but are you really ever in a 1v1? 35 minutes into this game, wants to make it a 1-for-1, unfortunately just not able to do it. Going to be falling with a 55-second death timer. Meanwhile, the rest of Project Maverick still trying to shove it in mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say. So, with Baron up in a minute. Oh, that's a really good TP.
Oh, gets a huge TP. King Rhino now taken real low. He's the only member trying to fight the rest of Project Maverick. They were still trying to siege. They were still trying to walk away. You see that the bottom and the mid inhibitors are open, right? But there's no damage on them. You can't do any damage without losing both of your solo laners now. And all 5 members of Mid Potatoes, they're still up. They might not have a wave, but they can definitely threaten to take these towers once the waves do arrive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing too now is, okay, now you take out Rhino. Rhino can't really help in team fights if they do try to go for like a Baron play here. But it looks like they're not going to yet. Looks like they're just going to push out these lanes. Baron's going to be coming up here in 10 seconds approximately. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Maverick decides to do. Are they just going to shift up here because they think that they're going to it? Do they not? Do they try to go look for the Camille and see if they can pick off a Camille in the process? But we'll have to see. It looks like they're going to recall. We do have Rhino back up right now, so we'll see what happens next shortly. There you get spot out.
What happens? You've got 3 dragons, both sides, completely even gold. You have a few more kills in Mid Potatoes pockets, right? You see a lot of shutdowns on their heads. Everyone except for the Seraphine. You got at least 150 if you are able to kill them. And now 36, I was about to say 46, 36 minutes into this game, it is still dead even. We have no idea who's going to take it. It could come down to a next 5v5. If someone aces at this point, could definitely end the game, or they could just take one inhibitor. At this point, it's really going to come down to who takes away this Baron, who most likely takes away an Elder, as TP is going to be canceled. Bot side, Turnips, he went in thinking that there's going to be a TP. Now there's no TP. Turnips, only one going in. Mr. Buffalo goes back onto the bot side, though. He doesn't have any damage. Meow finds himself in a 1v1 against a Caitlyn. You can't Zanya's against a Caitlyn, but still nice flash, completely even in damage. Meow just about able to walk it out. Juggernaut and King Rhino find themselves in a 2v4, almost completely one-shot Turnips. Meow on the backside. He does not do any damage on this Morgana. He's a support, and Bongo, he's taken out immediately. Poor 80 carries, man. 80 carries just can't do anything anymore. Shutdown going to King Rhino, makes himself a 1-for-1 potentially before he falls. Depends on who's able to find his kill. Turnips giving it very nicely over to Be Happy.
Yeah, I mean, that was just really good team fighting there from Mid, just because of the fact that you see that Jarvan got melted very easily in the Cataclysm there. You also saw that Ornn's ultimate wasn't able to be executed back, so they didn't have the knockups done onto them. You also saw that they're able to just kind of pick out everyone. Yeah, the TP was stopped there unaware, but the 4v4 was just not in the favor for Maverick there.
Yeah, that was, they really thought it was, because you saw a Juggernaut, he was able to cancel the TP from unaware, right? And then it didn't even matter. Smite almost comes out from Mr. Buffalo. It was a really nice attempt, almost making it a 1-for-1 for himself as well. It's just so close. It's all hanging on just one single play, but that is a Baron and a Soul going into Mid Potatoes pockets, finally finding themselves a 4,000 gold lead here at 40 minutes into this game.
Yeah, with the 4,000 gold lead now, they're kind of in that little bit of a boat. You now have the Soul, for the Air Drake there. So now you're kind of looking at, okay, like I talked about, now you have earlier, there's a little bit more people can move around. They could be able to get better positioning, whether it needs to be that they go in to get in and out of a fight or go in to just stay and stick on someone kind of a thing. So it's going to be interesting, especially when you have the Amumu and the Camille here in that aspect. And like I said, now you're able to hopefully close it out a little bit easier now, just because now all of your ultimates are coming up that little bit quicker. Oh, they're going to collapse on him.
Oh, Juggernaut. That is definitely not a 1v1. The story of the game, man, it all comes down to one pick after another pick. Baron and Soul, Mid Potatoes finally taking this 40-minute game one in their favors.
Yeah, now it's in their favor. I mean, again, they had to kind of play it out just to see what was going to happen, just because of the fact that here's the other thing too. Like Turnips was really low in that like previous team fight in that 4v4. A lot of them got low and just weren't able to be, killed in that process. I definitely thought Turnip was gonna die when he was fighting Sivir, but just Sivir wasn't able to do anything. So I'm kind of surprised. But again, it's also a Mumu. Big beefy tank that, kind of like Lauren, you don't die very easily. So, but we do have to give game one to Mint there in that case. I mean, it was a roller coaster.
It was.
I don't know how you feel about it.
I think it was like you're saying, it comes down to late game damage, right? Like the team comp for Project Maverick, we talked a little bit about it in Champ Select. They really don't have a lot of damage. Yes, you can argue Orin is a tank that can also deal a lot of damage, right? But really the only dedicated damage member that you have is the Sivir. You got a lot of gold on the Sivir, but it was only gold on only the Sivir. It was on no one else. Juggernaut, he kept going for 1v1s. He won them a few times. He got a few nice kills in his pockets, and then it just came down to the late game macro, late game team fights. They weren't ever at a solid 5v5. Juggernaut was flip pushing. Juggernaut was canceling TPs. He was making plays elsewhere on the map, just not in the specific 5v5. And yeah, I mean, he did end up building AP. I do like that. It's just unfortunate that he didn't take AP runes. He still has Guardian. It's not the same damage that you're going to get from a Comet, or even an Airy would have done more damage as well. So I think if you take Guardian, you do have to build more supportive. Yes, Leanders can do a little bit more, but still it's just not going to synergize as well with your runes.
Yeah, and this thing is like being able to kind of take the right keystone, I think is part of the problem, because you never know if Guardian's going to be better sometimes. You never know if the area is going to be better just because you're able to get it off that little bit more. Is the Comet going to be better? I think, again, it kind of caters to the champion that little bit more. But yeah, I think definitely area for the most part is probably, when you have a mage support, you're going to be using that. Definitely. Like, I just feel like there's no reason to ever use Guardian unless it's Bard. Like, that'd be the only time I think I'd ever use Guardian on like a more magic based champion. So, but it's kind of catered to the player. Players are going to play the way that they feel is more comfortable for them. So we'll see with that. But surprisingly, the Mage Assassin did not do Mage Assassin damage. It only did about
No, unfortunately.
14k. Yeah, Amu was still outclassed him. somehow barely with that in that case. But and it's definitely going to be interesting seeing how this next game goes.
Yeah, this is a best of 3 still, of course. Mint Potatoes currently 1-0 up on Project Maverick. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with your game 2 here very shortly. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Week 3 of Sophomore League Runeterra Academy. I am Camcom, once again joining you with Gigatron tonight. Mint Potatoes taking a 40-minute Game 1 against Project Maverick. Again, both of these teams were undefeated up until Game 1 tonight. Project Maverick taking their first loss here. This is once again Division 2 of Sophomore League.
It's crazy because I look at Project Maverick and I think like they have a really good team, but again, when it's the two teams that are tied for first right now, this is always the match you want to see because you want to see who's going to outperform the other, kind of a thing. But right now, it looks like Mint's doing really well, so let's see how this Game 2 goes.
Yeah, and you do see Project Maverick still do lose those first two bans, right? Because they did violate one of the rules about, I believe it was playing 10 games every week, something along those lines. Just one of the ELO sitting rules, as I'm going to be very surprised if that's an Evelyn to be one. I think these are just troll hovers. Once again, Xin Zhao making it through the draft. Jarvan making it through the draft once again. If they do want to pick it up this time, will be in Mint's hands.
Yeah, it is going to be the Jarvan. Jarvan's just one of those highly contested first picks that I think if you can, again, perform very well, where I felt Buffalo did really well last game and was able to get a lot of CC combos, get some kills and everything. Just was unfortunate that sometimes the team fights weren't going the way that they needed them to go. So, but that's an interesting counterback.
Yeah, the Lulu Diana. I mean, you got that's the start of a wombo combo. I'll put it that way, right? Like, Diana can go in, and then you have a Lulu knockable on top of her, but that's not a whole lot of CC and damage outside of just the initial assassin burst, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing what they want to pair up with this Diana, and whether it is a Diana jungle or a mid. Most likely will be a jungle, as that's what we've seen a lot more recently, but still, mid lane Diana is a very strong champion, and it is matched once again by the Camille Seraphine. Just comfort picks for these very nice players.
Yeah, the Camille performed very well last game. Unaware did really well.
Yeah.
Was able to trade, get a lot of good perfect hook shots to either go in or get out. Ultimatums were used like in probably the best aspects possible, and still was able to survive through a lot of the Shadow Realms from Mordekaiser. So yeah, definitely good performance, and I would have thought maybe they would have potentially banned that, but I guess they must be a really good Irelia player if they're banning that. So, but yeah, we see the Seraphine again, which is fine. That's, again, comfort picks. And then we see a Simmer again. Simmer with Lulu as a hyper carry. Yeah, that's still good. We'll see how that performs this time around.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that Aurelia ban more, like you were saying, right? Because if you only get one ban and you're banning Aurelia is not like a comfort B1-able champion. It is definitely a comfort champion, but I don't think it's B1-able. So you can pick it away and decide to ban something more powerful like the J4 that you can be pretty sure if you don't ban it, they're probably going to be picking up B1, right? But Aurelia, not so much still if they are one of those like high mastery, high comfort, and it's like, I play one champion, I play Aurelia, and it's like, okay, well, we can ban that away with our one ban. It's just interesting because, yeah, there's a lot of other champions that are a lot more well-known for being like a potential only ban if you only have one ban.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, is it's like, okay, if it's your one ban, it's kind of like, do you waste it on Camille or do you waste it on, Irelia? Because of the fact that Irelia is still very strong and can be definitely overpowering for a lot of people, especially if you're a top laner that probably doesn't see Irelia or just doesn't know how to play against Irelia. Or doesn't have, I should say, a good counter to it too. Then yeah, that's your other problem that you kind of have to deal with. Is like, okay, what do I do in that aspect? But we are going to see a Jhin and Caitlyn ban this time come out of PM, and then we're going to still see a Mumu and Mordekaiser coming back. Interesting. Well,
yeah.
I don't think the Mumu was that big of a deal if they gave it to them, but still. You didn't know where Diana was going.
I am very excited for this Mal fight, and I was gonna say that up until I saw Mint Potatoes lock in a Silas Oh my gosh. I had to play in a tournament earlier this week. My top laner locked in Malphite on B5, enemy team locked in Silas on R5, and let me tell you, that has got to be the most one-sided matchup I've ever seen. Silas versus Malphite is Silas all the way, but you do have a Diana Malphite wombo combo, right? That is one of the wombo combos I mentioned the last game, where you got the CC knockup engage for Malphite, and now you have damage follow-up from a Diana and a potential Brave and Sivir as well, right? And then Lulu just presses R on either the Malphite or Diana. Most likely the Diana, because she's not going to be as tanky as the Malphite, especially if he does build tank, but still, potential AP Malphite on our hands right here in this game too.
It could be potentially that. I think part of the problem is then you don't really have a tank, which is okay, I guess, because then you can still have Lulu either wild grow through, or you have the shield coming out from her, kind of mitigate a lot of the damage. You still have your passive shield as well, on top of a lot of the team is kind of AD coming out here from mid, because you have Jarvan, Camille, and Ezreal in that case, but you still have Seraphine and Silas, who do a lot of magic damage as well, and Ezreal will be doing some of that too. So it's kind of, again, a more mixed damage team again, but the fact that, yeah, they still have very good lockdown, very good damage is going to be coming out. You have Silas, who is just, in general, the most annoying counter to Malphite, because he doesn't even have to lane against the Malphite. He could just steal the ult whenever he goes by him. Doesn't have to even use it then. He can literally run up, steal the ult, go down, and then go use it on his mid later, or another team fight is about to happen. So that's the annoying thing when the top of force is such a great ability, and then you have a champion that could just steal it.
Yeah. I mean, Silas, he's got all sorts of good ultimates to steal in this game, right? And he can pair them all up with a J4, the master of all wombo combos. You can J4 Diana ult, you can J4 Lulu ult, you can J4 Malphite ult, you can J4 Sivir ult if you really wanted to. I mean, it would probably be more of this in the order of Sivir and then J4 ult, right? But then you still have the follow-up of a Seraphine ult, 100%. That's not even one that's on like one of the ridiculously long cooldowns, because you have to wait for it to be back up on the steal, right? So it's still very strong champion. It's all of our eyes are going to be on the Silas right here. Mid potatoes, it is a best of 3, right? So they do have a little bit of a safety net in this game too, but I don't think they were going for safety net games this time. They're definitely going for a 2-0, could be their third 2-0 in a row if they do play this game out for a win.
Yeah, I think they're going to go for this 2-0 just because of the fact that, you know, this is kind of a trend that teams want to do. They start out really well in the season, and they want to keep that momentum going, which I feel like they have. You know, you had a game that was kind of going roller coaster, but you came out on top in the end, and you still drafted a very good comp that goes into theirs, because you have a lot of dive that's coming out from Project Maverick here in that case. So how do you counter it? Well, you still have dive coming out from Camille, you still have dive coming out from Jarvan, you have Silas who can still go into. You have Seraphine who can literally just charm everyone that's in front of her, essentially. So if they try coming at them at all, she can just charm them and then, or root them even. And now you're just like, why don't we just take this fight? So that's kind of going to be, I think, the momentum that they need to use is just, they just need to go off of it for a minute. As long as they keep that momentum, they keep a level head, they go into this game and say, hey, you know what, let's just play the game, let's get everything going, and all that, they could probably get the 2 out here in that case. But you also look at that, again, they drafted still a decent comp coming out of Maverick here, just because you have a lot of dive, you have someone that can protect, you could have someone that can also just have a lot of damage coming out from Malphite, or even just Diana, because those are just two big burst champions. And then you have Graves, who's just really annoying to deal with as a AD champion. So, I don't know. I don't know who I want to really give it to this game, though.
Yeah, I do definitely like this comp from Project Maverick a lot more than I did in game one, right? They have a lot more damage, they have a lot more CC as well, consistently from a Lulu and a Malphite, right? And then you look on the other side, Mint Potatoes, I think they picked a lot of really good vacuum matchups, and yes, their 5v5 is going to be strong, but really both of these teams' 5v5s are really strong. The issue is they're really both playing for 5v5s. Like, yes, Camille can split, but we saw last game, she really wasn't playing for split, unaware. He was mostly playing for the 5v5s around the dragons, around the barons, around the soul even as well, right? And I mean, it was much more Juggernaut playing for split pushing role, and now he's the one that has to be playing for these 5v5s. So it could be a little bit more troublesome for them because it is kind of a flip-flop on the roles that they maybe originally thought they were locking in.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when things are kind of flip flopping around, it's kind of like, how's it really gonna go? Now I feel like okay, like you talked about. Oh, I'm gonna say it. You're happy because you got Lulu you can cast. That's why you like their team. You like their team because there's a Lulu on it.
Yes.
A resident Lulu player here, you know. Like.
I might have a few Lulu games in my time. Maybe a few hundred. I in this season alone. I don't know. I don't want to think about that. But instead,
You don't want to think about that.
Look, it's okay. Now we get to watch Meow play Lulu. He's gonna play it perfectly, I believe. And we are going to be going to a short spectator delay break right here before we go into game 2. Once again, we've got Potatoes on blue side, Project Maverick on right. Currently 1-0 up for Mid Potatoes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to week 3 of Sophomore Runeterra Academy. We have Mint Potatoes on the blue side, currently 1-0 up in this best of 3 against Project Maverick on the red side. And both of these teams, once again, they were undefeated before these games here. They are fighting for the #1 seed slot again. I am Camcom, joined by Gigatron on the desk here tonight.
It's gonna be interesting. Oh, look at that dash going in. Oh my
Man.
gosh.
Silas is just such a good champion into really all of the champions that Project Maverick has, right? It's just, man, he can't cancel that recall, unfortunately, because you did see that he leveled E level 1. If he had Q, he could have canceled that back, but he's probably not going to want to dive under a tower just to cancel it back when he's only level 1.
No, they're not gonna do that. And when you don't know where everyone else is, yeah, like look at Meow was in the bot brush there. You had Buffalo top, like half of the in between there for the jungle there. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're not gonna tower dive. Like it's just not worth.
No, it's probably not worth. And we do see both junglers are starting on the bot buffs here. Could mean a potential 330 scuttle fight up top, 315 maybe if they clear really quickly, but still, but definitely potential top lane scuttle fight there early on. Something to keep an eye out.
Right, could definitely be that since they're matching the jungle pets in that case, but. Maybe not. Maybe we're just gonna see after almost said wraiths again. After chickens, toucans, whatever we want to call it in this fight, there'll be maybe a gank coming from Jarvan. I guess he's not gonna go mid.
No, it does look like Turnips did decide to skip those Krugs, going straight to chicken, straight to his top side camps. Could mean that he wants either Scuttle Earl or an early dive, but I mean, you already see a pretty massive CS gap up top side for Unaware. I don't really think you need to dive a Malphite, and even just saying dive a Malphite, it doesn't really sound like something that's very easily done pre-6 here.
You can. I think of it this way. So you have two kits that work perfectly for CC here, that they can do something essentially in that case with it. But also think of it this way: you need Peakley getting level 6 sooner than you need Juggernaut getting level 6. Because if Juggernaut's not level 6, he can't really join team fights. I don't know what that screen just did with that.
Lots of damage there in the mid lane. Neither one of them having Ignite, though, so neither one really wanting to full commit for a 1v1, but you do see Peakley taken very low.
Yeah, he is very low right now, having to definitely use his pot here in that case. Is it me or is my items bugged? Yeah, my item's bugged for whatever reason. I was like, I thought she had a corrupting potion, but it doesn't show on my screen for whatever reason.
I got you. If there's another bug, just look at this. I promise. Bugs suck. Luckily, you only have the item bug. I mean, you don't have the invisible champion bug. You don't have the bug where apparently you don't see Mr. Buffalo ganking your bot lane here in a few seconds. And Peakley going in for a 1v1 here in the mid lane as well. Mr. Buffalo, he does have red buff, forcing out that flash from Chiba very early on. Nicely done. Meanwhile, Turnips did flash onto King Rhino, trading his flash for flash there in the mid lane.
Yeah, able to trade that flash for flash, which... Oh, no, they didn't even trade flash. They didn't flash. Oh, Turnips traded, yeah. So, but that's the thing you have to look at is like, okay, now Rhino doesn't have flash, now Jarvan can come in again, or someone else can come in and do a gank, so it'll be good in that case. But now you have to look at Buffalo forced out Coco's flash now, so it's kind of like, and the heals. It's kind of like, not great for bot side, so they're probably gonna gank soon.
Yeah, that's a very large wave crashed underneath that top tower there. I mean, Juggernaut, You could look for a dive up there if you did have either level 6 on Juggernaut or if Mr. Buffalo was up there as well. But unfortunately, neither of them really in a position to dive. But it is nice to say that he did come back from being, 1 to 10 in CS. Now he actually has a little bit of a CS lead for himself.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just knowing when to use your corrupting pot and making sure that you're managing your CS as much as possible, which you can with him. I think the big thing is just finding that sweet moment when to kind of freeze and soft push. And then that way you still have the wave in an area that you want it to be, but also not getting too farther out than it needs to be, so that way you can farm still safely, but also be able to do what you need.
Yeah, do what you need, and I mean, top lane, there could be some 1v1s up here. There could be potential 1v1 kills up here as well, but I mean, both of them, especially once they do hit level 6 here in just a couple seconds, they have so much escape tools that I'm just not expecting a whole lot of actual kills to be happening. You do see here in the mid lane, King Rhino does have level 6 up on P Clay if he wanted to go in, but not really knowing where Turnips is, wisely knowing that if he does go in, could definitely be engaged upon by Turnips. Just a little bit dangerous for himself there.
Definitely a little dangerous, just because, like you said, where Turnips is, you don't know when he's going to hit 6. Also, you have to realize, even if you get him low, he could just heal off of you and turn the fight into the favor of his, that you're just like, maybe I shouldn't keep fighting anymore at this point, kind of a thing. It just gets annoying. That's why Silas is one of those nice champions that if you can learn him and use him very well, even if it's in situations that require it, like having a Malphite on the other team, for example, or times when you don't even have a Malphite, just being able to take little bits that are really good and be able to just dominate, kind of, just because of the fact that, hey, you're AP scaling. Oh, you just take a ultimate now, make it be even more better AP scaling. So yeah, it's gonna be annoying, definitely in the long run, especially if you can take Diana's. Oh god, heaven forbid you see that happen. I just thought about that now.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about a little bit in Champ Select, right? It's like he has so many ultimates that he can steal, all of which are just so useful for his team. It's not like a Zoe or ultimate or like a Elise ultimate, right? Where it's basically useless for you to steal those ultimates. Nope, he's got 5 very useful ultimates for him. You can even argue Graves is useful just because it's a very nice steal tool if he wants to play for that. But top lane even, you see a large wave crashed into Unaware's tower. Very nice little bit of macro there from Juggernaut, just because he can deny the TP potential from Unaware if they did try to go for anything. But still, first dragon will be taken very nicely by Mid Potatoes. It is just going to be that Mountain Infernal up next. So we could have another Cloud Soul this game or a potential Ocean.
Right. Both would still be good for souls. Oh.
Flash, not quite. Oh, first blood falling for P Clay. They're so close in the 1v1.
Oh, yeah, I must just be bugged on her because she's just like stuck there at the tower. Even though she is dead.
Oh no, you have the dead body book too, but P Clay, he's going on to Mr. Buffalo, taking down real low, forced to flash away. Juggernaut gonna be flashing out as well of the Cataclysm. Turnips does not have any mana left. Mr. Buffalo does not want to walk back into this fight. Juggernaut taking down real low, Unaware, picking himself his first kill of this game.
Yeah, first kill of this game, but you also have to look at now, they're up. Why does it say 4 kills when it's supposed to be 2? Jeez, my client is bugged
Oh, you
as heck right now. I have a big bug.
Seraphino lands onto Bongo Tap, just about able to spell shield the second half of it though, so he is able to lock that one out very nicely. Again, level 6 on both of the 80 carries, just tick level 6 on both of the supports. And if you do want, you can watch my Discord stream, by the way. It's got no bugs on it.
Yeah, I was also just watching the live stream too.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riot client, you've got the bug where it's like a dead body never despawns, right? And then you've got items never come. You just only have items people bought at like the 5-second mark, and then it never changes. So like even tier, it shows it never stacking, right? And then there's also the bug where members are never visible. So like if a member, like a team member doesn't spawn on the map, then they are just never there no matter what happens. It's like, what? And then you also have the one where the gold is doubled and the kills are doubled. So you actually have no idea what a gold lead even is. It's a really good client that Riot has right here. It's a small company. It's okay.
Small indie company, you know, it's just it happens kind of a thing. Oh, good hook shot.
Man, Juggernaut, he's got to become famous for these 1v1s, man. Like, it almost never is an actual 1v1. He goes and is like, guys, I got this. It's a 1v1. I know I can win it, but now in this game, he's not on a Mordekaiser, right? Like, Mordekaiser, you definitely can go for those 1v1s, especially when you have ulta, but now he's a Malphite. Malphites usually don't go for 1v1s, right? So he can play a lot safer and play a lot more with his team and hopefully not find himself caught out a lot as he did in game 1 here.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a little bit different just because of the fact that he has the grass. He can take melee fights a little bit easier. But man, we have a 4-man brigade going in right now. Lulu.
Oh my gosh, the poor Lulu, man. Like it's just the poor Lulu. She won an award. I've totally never done that in my life. Totally would never do that right there. No, she did use the Hugify on herself, which is a fairly short cooldown, I believe around 80 seconds at level 6, so she will have it up here for the next dragon fight on the Infernal spawn if they do decide to fight for it.
And we're going to see Rift is going to be popped here in the bot lane for Mint Potatoes, and yeah, I mean, oh, look at that dive.
Bongo tap! Bongo tap might fall to the same fate as Meow does. As Turna takes one more tower shot, could be one too many as Bongo tap finds one kill for himself, looking to make it a second. Meow finally arrives, double kill coming up from Bongo tap, and now triple. That is not the tower dive Mint Potatoes we're looking for.
No, unfortunate in that case, and I think that's the thing that you kind of have to play around is the fact that, hey, can you have enough footwork to be able to dodge all the abilities as much as possible? You also had turnips just being weird and staying around in the turret for no reason at all. I mean, I know it went on Ezreal, but like you could have just bursted them down. But okay.
Oh, it's another 1v1 in the mid lane here. This time, Peakley not going to be so lucky. Unfortunately, King Rhino coming out of this one. And I mean, at this point, mid lane, it just looks like assassin versus assassin. Like, who does more initial burst damage? And the first time, it was Peakley somehow with the tower dive as well. And now King Rhino just also not having any mana on a Diana. Seems like a recipe for disaster, but just King Rhino making it work out for him.
Diana's strong. She had her ultimate. She's able to pop people usually a lot of the time with that. So as long as she has enough of her abilities being cast, she can pretty much just rely on the 3 autos to do a lot of damage. Oh.
Infernal Dragon is stolen away by Turnips. Huge Seraphito onto the backside as well. Unaware finds himself in a 1v1 on the backline though. Turnips forced to flash out. Juggernaut ulted in right after him. Unaware. He's polymorphed. ECC'd. He's dead now as well. Mid Potatoes, they got the dragon. They're looking for the team fight after. They get 1 kill, they lose 2, and they're looking for more, but they're just unfortunately not going to land the other CC. So it is just going to be the 1 for 2. They did pick up the dragon though, so 2 dragons now in the favor of Potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, just a great smite steal. And it's kind of the thing that Jarvan does too, is he's able to get that good gap closer with the flag drag and just be able to steal dragons or just objectives in general. And it's just kind of like, all right, like now to just put salt more on the wounds. Like I already have a loss from the game before. Like you're just trying to rub it in more, kind of a thing. So by having one of those plays, but it's also great because then now it's like, okay, hey, you're now up 2 dragons to 0 instead of 1 to 1. Now you have another air drake coming up, and oh
no, Peakley! Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry about Peakley. That is not the wave that I think you wanted to clear there, my friend. That's very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate in that case. You would hope it would be a little different, but not going to be here for him. And so we'll see. Excuse me. We'll see how this Graves keeps playing, because if Buffalo is going to be ganking more, he's already got 3 assists. All his kills have gone to the laner. So now I'm like, hey, maybe maybe this Graves is going to pop off.
I mean, currently it does look much more of a supportive Graves. You have a lot, really all of the kills on King Rhino and Bongo Tap, and I mean, if you wanted kills on Graves, you could have gotten a few. He has just mostly been giving them away, which I think is very nice. He does spike a lot harder once he gets 1 or 2 items, especially a mythic is when the Graves is really what some would consider a real champ, as he could look for a gank up here. Nice ultimate coming out from Juggernaut. Unaware is just completely unaware that Mr. Buffalo is here for a gank. He does have his jungler behind him, but Turnips still clearing his wolves. They do have peak play roaming up. They want to continue this, but not really knowing where King Rhino is, especially knowing that he could be roaming up, does make it very dangerous if they want to continue.
Right.
Clay. Oh,
Oh.
okay. It's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell if they're going to continue this side. I mean, Juggernaut, he is caught out. He is going to be caught in that Cataclysm, is able to flash out, though, and still, I mean, Mr. Buffalo and Juggernaut, it's really hard to catch out them, but now Flash coming in, all the ultimates being dropped. Mr. Buffalo, the burn might be enough. Turnips picking up another kill for himself, but still able to turn it around onto Unaware.
And here's what I was talking about too. You took that unstoppable force from Malphite there. You're able to either just flash in or use your abilities or be able to just get in on them. And now you have that plus Turnips going in with a flag drag on top of Unaware being able to just hook shot and get on the Graves there. That is kind of what this team comp is going to revolve around, is those 3 gooning around and going after people. That's going to be the most annoying thing, especially for Juggernaut, because Juggernaut's not going to really exist then. You're going to have the same thing happen to Rhino if they start focusing Rhino. They really need to get that bounty now that's 500 gold on this Sivir here. So they really should gank bot, or just find her wherever she goes at this point.
I mean, Bongo Tap just magically finding himself a triple kill, man. Like, it was a 1v3 triple kill for him now, coming in off of the back of the second kill just to make sure that he was able to secure that triple kill. That just completely turned the tides of the entire game, because before then, I think Project Maverick was down 2,000 gold, which in the early game is actually quite a bit. Now, they have held a pretty solid 2,000 to 3,000 gold lead for themselves at about 17, 18 minutes in this game. Third dragon is spawning here in 30 seconds for Mint Potatoes, but I mean, first dragon for Project Maverick. That's a tongue twister sometimes right there, but their first dragon for them if they are able to take it. Last one that they tried to take was stolen away by Turnips.
Yeah, it was. Let's see if something's going to happen again. It is a 5v5 right now, so it could be in anyone's favor, but Juggernaut is in probably the best spot right now to go in on any of them if he needs to.
Yeah, it's full river control from Project Maverick right now. Juggernaut could find a 1v1 here onto P-Clay. Was the Rift Arrow dropped into the mid lane, but now Engage coming out of Unaware, finding it onto Mr. Buffalo. Huge ultimates coming up, but there's just no damage. Follow-up, still all 5 members of Project Maverick still alive. Now P-Clay wants to find himself an Engage onto the backside, but taken out immediately. Polymorphed in, no more healing remaining for the Silas. King Rhino picking up the kill onto Turnips. Now there is no potential for a smite steal, and you still have all 5 members of Project Maverick alive.
Yeah, all 5 are alive here, which is perfect for them. They're able to secure this first streak that's going to be for them. So now it's kind of going to have that area advantage that they kind of need, because hey, if you can get a Malphite ult up that little bit sooner, it's perfect. You get Lulu's ult up earlier. You can get on the hunt up earlier. So because of that, now you're just able to either do more damage or escape whenever you need to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep going back to the triple kill, man. Like, just keep replaying that in my mind. Like, holy moly, Bongo Tap. is just absolutely insane on the Sivir. Like, in game 1, you could have argued that Sivir were, and the double the double spell shield bot lane could have been argued to have been a meta bot lane, right? But now picking Sivir here in game 2 makes me think that it's much more of a comfort pick for Bongo Tap. And then, I mean, the triple kill 1v3, absolute comfort pick. If Sivir is not banned away from Project Maverick after this game, if it's left up in game 3, man, that would be absolutely insane for him.
Either two things. They think it's insane because of the fact that they're able to do something with it, or they're going to look at the fact that it's not a problem because of the fact that, okay, we know this is their comfort, we're going to play that in what we want to play. So that's just something that we'll have to just see. You know, again, some mistakes were made to get that triple kill, so you know, it does happen, but we'll see how these next team fights go. Uh-oh.
Oh, King Rhino now finds himself in a 1v2 here on the top side. So much damage coming out from the stolen away Moonfall there. I mean, it's just huge. That's one shutdown going over. That's 350 into Turnip's pockets now, so could change it a little bit. It is unfortunate that it didn't go onto Unaware, right? But still, you do have the rest of Project Maverick shoving in mid lane and almost bot lane here as well in a few minutes.
Yeah, they're just shoving in everything, which is good. I mean, you have to look at that now. You get this turret taken down. Now you're going to have some gold swinging back to you. I know the gold lead is still going over to Project Maverick here right now, but they're, you know, coming back that little bit more. They're able to just kind of just soak these waves, and if they can soak these waves, get more XP, they'll be able to come back and do a little bit more, I think, just because they'll get more items, they'll be able to create more pressure, kind of a thing. The only problem is you definitely don't want to go on Rhino in a team fight. You want it to be like a 2v1. I think that's the only way they kind of really win, because if Meow is around, they probably morph. You have Sivir who can still do a lot of auto damage. You have the same thing with Graves, going to be autoing people down. And then if Malphite's around, heaven forbid, then he's just gonna jump in on people, and yeah, it's just not a good time for them. So I think that's something that, you know, if you're gonna pick off people, you definitely want to pick off Rhino and Juggernaut on your own or 2v1. That's the only way I think that's gonna really benefit them, because they're doing a team fight. Too much something to have. Uh-oh.
Oh no, this could be exactly what you're talking about here. King Rhino once again trying to walk up to a bot wave, and the Moonfall after Moonfall finally falling to Turnips. Once again, 2 quick kills in a row here for Jarvan here, coming out in game 2 again. Could be a nice comeback if they are able to find another shutdown, whether that is the 650 or the 250 into Turnips, or especially P-Play's pockets. And even could be happy with a few more gold in his pocket, right? Because he is at 1.5 items. He wants to complete that Mana on the Ezreal, right? So got a little bit more time to scale up for them. I think that Mint Potatoes will eventually outscale. It has just been so far so in favor of Project Maverick after the triple kill in bot lane for Bongo Tap, right? Just, they found so many little leads after. It hasn't even been a massive lead after. It's been all these little leads that have slowly stacked up to now what is a 4,000 gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to become being a more bigger and bigger lead, but it's only 4K, so it's not bad. You can definitely swing it. It's just kind of like, okay, you gotta get those 2 outer turrets, then they'll be able to kind of just recoup that gold that little bit more. They'll get a couple more waves. They can get this next drag here. I think that'll help them out too.
Yeah, this is Soul Point here for Mid Potatoes. It is Cloud Soul once again, so it's not 100% game deciding, but still Cloud Soul into an Elder, into a Baron is definitely game deciding. You see a TP coming out, Mr. Buffalo wants to play for a steal here, but it is going to be secured. Third Dragon as well as huge Seraphino once again onto the backside, but it's Exhaust into Polymorph into CC. Peakley not allowed to play the game whatsoever. Turnips diving into the backline, surviving for so long, keeping them behind for so long here. Shutdown going down to Unaware now. It's a big turnaround, double kill for Mid Potatoes. Now trying to find the rest of the the team fight. Only Juggernaut is left on the map. No flash, no TP. He finds the kill onto Unaware and is able to walk it out.
Yeah, and that's, I think, a big thing right here is they played this fight perfectly. They got the drag, they turned, and they took out the 3 people that they needed to with the Cataclysm. Because then they were able to focus on that Rhino, and then you had Unaware get a perfect hookshot flash into Squishies. When you have that happen, they're just dead. They're automatically just going to be dead. So that's just perfect gameplay from
Oh no.
Unaware. Juggernaut.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Whew. Juggernaut, I mean, man, if only he knew Turnips didn't have sight and he just walked up and autoed the Baron and stole it and walked out, man. That would have made my day.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is like, okay, you show your face and you get up there, and then they start going on to you. So it's like, okay, you gotta make a decision of, do I go on to the Baron and try to steal it or not? Because you never know. So, but yeah, definitely a little unfortunate for them that they didn't think about trying to go after it.
Even if they did go into Juggernaut, his ultimate was only like 5 seconds away, right? So he really could have just walked up out of the Baron, and then if they went on him, he could have just ulted out the back wall. It would have been so good, man. It's just he walked in, he looked at the Baron, and he walked out. That was the game plan, and he did it very successfully.
Yeah, I think you have to look at, he was looking for what's the most safest play here for us, and not what's the most like flashy, aggressive play. So when you kind of look at that, you're like, okay, that makes sense as to why he did that. So, but
Yeah, we've got
go ahead.
2.5 more minutes on the Cloud Soul for Mint Potatoes. It is the second soul second dragon for Project Maverick. If they're the ones that are able to secure it, could stall out the game for even longer if they do. As you see a 1v1 here, P-Clay versus King Rhino. Gonna go golden. Meanwhile, Mr. Buffalo finds himself in a 1v3, able to ult over the wall, just about able to dodge away from that E from P-Clay there. Several to try and help them run away, and Turnips just out of reach for a smite.
I'm not gonna lie, I think he's having a good old Jarvan problem where you think you have your Cataclysm when you don't.
Yes.
You just go do an aggressive flag drag, even though you know you're not gonna like get them in it, but you're gonna get yourself in range for Cataclysm. You go try to do it, you're just like, crap, I don't have it. Happens, you know, no big deal, but you know, this.
It's like, it's just muscle memory, right? Like, you see someone, they're about to die, you go in, you think you have your ultimate, and then you look down and it's like a 20-second cooldown still, and you're like, wait a second, I thought we had a Cloud Soul, where did that go? And, oh, it's in 1 more minute. Man, I thought we already had it.
You said Soul Point, I was just like, I like the idea. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Yes.
I was like, I had to look. I'm like, are you ahead of me somehow for a second? I'm like, no. There's no way that they have that. So I was like, okay, well now we have Soul Point coming up right now in 50 seconds. So we're gonna see a lot of words going to be figured
No,
out
Soul
here.
coming up in 50. It's not
Right.
Soul Point in 50. It is Soul.
Sorry. So
Turnips. Okay. That was very dangerous. He could have been engaged on right there, but luckily he is able to walk it out. But still, if Juggernaut was to turn it right there, that would have been pretty big, as again, Project Maverick, they need to start stalling out these Dragon Souls for themselves if they want to find it as CCPs coming out. Seraphino behind the Cataclysm. There is no more life to live for Bongo Tap. Immediately gonna be one shot. Meanwhile, Mr. Buffalo in the backside, he finds himself a 1v2. Meanwhile, triple kill for P-Clay TP to try and secure the kill for Mr. Buffalo. He wants the quadra kill. He's gonna try and find it. It's actually not the TP from P-Clay. It's actually from Unaware. That is the clean ace coming out from Mint Potatoes.
Mint Potatoes doing a clean ace. They're gonna get this Dragon Soul here. So how about have 2 Air Souls in a row? But that was just perfect by P-Clay. P-Clay just steals that unstoppable force, just goes in, secures just some good CC onto them, and then just sticks on them and just like, hey, where you going? You're not gonna do anything. You're gonna get so much damage on you that you're just gonna pop. And because of that, it's just unfortunate for Project Maverick here, but that's fine. It's gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna try and do the best that you can to burn him down, but the problem is you let the Malphite come into range of him. If you play it where how you should play Malphite in this, which is basically, yes, you farm as much as possible, but then you only join fights after he ults. That's the only way you join. Because if he doesn't ult, and you know your ult is still like available to be stolen, it's just not worth it, kind of a thing. Like you just don't want to take that risk.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we talked about this yet, but it was Camille that picked up the 650 shutdown off of Bongo Tap. And then it was Silas that got the 300 from Graves. So that's where the gold went. 650, really 950 to Unaware is pretty big, as we do have almost another 5v5 coming up. Could be the final 5v5 if Project Maverick do not win it. And you see the backside, there's Seraphine ulted, they're going down. No more damage remaining. The only one left is Juggernaut, and that is a Malphite. King Rhino now, he is forced to run away, gonna go golden for just a few more seconds. He does a lot of damage with that ultimate right there, but unfortunately just no more team left on the map. Mint Potatoes taking the series, taking the storm 2-0 against Project Maverick.
Yeah, just great plays right there. I mean, they executed their comp very well for Mint, and Mint was just on top of everything. They were trying to be getting those wards up as much as possible. They were trying to take those fights, appropriately as much as possible. That's going to be in their favor. And yeah, I mean, even though they had to give up drag, at one point, they still were able to secure the Dragon Soul, and they were able to just do so much in these team fights that it's just crazy to think about. Especially when Silas is just so overpowering and just can take really good ultimates. I mean, because you look at like I said, there's Unstoppable Force. You have the Moon. You have On the Hunt if you need to get in there faster or get away. You have Regrowth where it's just like, hey, I'm kind of getting a little sun getting a little real low right here. And my W's not up where I just can't heal. It's just real nice to have that. So when you look at the damage, the damage is just so
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
All of them.
there is only one completed anti-heal item for the side of Project Maverick, and that is a Thorn Mail on Juggernaut on the Malphite. That you have the Chemtech item for Lulu being built, the support Grievous Wounds item that I can never remember the name of. That's in the process of being built, but she doesn't have it fully built, so she can't really apply it without the full items yet. So only one anti-heal when you're against a Seraphine, a J4, a Silas, and Camille healing a little bit as well. That is very rough, especially in all these 5v5s.
You think of Putrefier.
Yeah, that one.
So yeah, which is really good. But just unfortunately, when the same thing again, you guys aren't able to get the Morello soon enough. You're not able to get the Putrefier. You only have the Thornmail kind of coming out as that. Um, it's just a little unfortunate because like if they prioritized it that a little bit more, like even if Mongo Tap had it, where it was just executioner's calling with that, and then you had the Morello. Just getting another upgraded one, whether it was Morello or Putrefier, it definitely
Yeah.
would have helped out. But
Yeah, and I,
just
I do want to mention now that I actually see it that you do have the Oblivion Orb built on King Rhino as well, but again, just not having the fully completed item just makes it so much harder than it already is to fight them in 5v5s. But with that, that will be the end of Sophomore Academy stream here tonight. Once again, I was Cam Kama, joined by Gigatron, and we have Red producing behind the scenes with us. Mint Potatoes taken 2-0, taken first seed very strongly against Project Maverick here. That was Ocean House versus Infernal. Ocean taking the 2-0, of course. And you will have, if you want to watch more Runeterra Academy content, of course, it is juniors and seniors, Sunday night and Monday night, respectively. Come back here, same place, same time. We are signing off here now. Thank you all for watching, and see y'all later.
have a good night, guys.